Hello and welcome to Global Heart Healing Conversations. I am here with the beautiful Andreea Tamas, whom I have had the pleasure of knowing for a few years now. And we've done different collaborations of all sorts, and she is a lovely, special energy. And I am going to let Andreea explain to you who she is and introduce herself and her work.
Thank you, Joy, and thank you for having me on. And hi, everyone. So happy to be here with all of you. As you have heard, my name is Andreea Tamas, and I am a conscious money and breathwork coach. And I work primarily with women. And the work that I do with them is truly to help them remember who they are and live from this place of softness, of pleasure, and create and magnetize abundance through that. It's truly getting back to self, getting back to that remembrance, and that's what it's keep coming, back all the time when I'm asked what I do, what is my work. When I ask myself, when I ask my guides, it's that, like, that's the core, that's the essence, and it just feels so true. And through the breath work, that it's, I would say, quite new, not so new now, like it still feels new, but it's since last year in November when I got trained here in India, where I am right now, where I do the podcast from. It's been such a game changer for my clients, for my practice. And we were just talking about it, Joy. I'm really excited for you to try it as well. It's truly a tool that helps people go so deep in a much faster pace, than just coaching, because we go straight to the subconscious and we work with the body, with the nervous system. So we are able to release blockages, money blockages, traumas, and so on, much faster. And the way I work with it, it's truly an activation, because it's not just a breath work, but it's truly a guidance and an activation. And this activation, if you are going to actually watch one of my breath works online, there are a few, even on YouTube, you can find them out. You will see that I'm moving a lot when I do those breath works, like my hands, my body, and so on, because I work energetically as well. It's not just the breath work itself. And that's what makes it, I would say, so special, because it's a combination.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Well, I'm so happy for you to have found that to incorporate into all of your work. And I know a little bit about it, but I would like for you to share a little bit more with everyone here about your healing journey and what first led you to the path of becoming a healer.
Yes, so my healing journey started almost 10 years ago. So it's almost a decade. I moved to US when I was 24 years old, and just 1 year after that, I had a near-death experience. I went to Las Vegas. I went to a music festival. I took a substance, and there I was. I had a seizure, and I was in a coma for 2 days. And that shifted everything for me. And even when I look back now, I'm like, I'm not sure the same soul came back. Honestly, I'm not sure the same soul came back, because my whole life changed. And not just that, but I also had like loss of memory, and I still have, like, there are a lot of things that I still don't remember before that. And I know there is a reason. And at the beginning, I felt a lot of shame, a lot of guilt because of the incident. But afterwards, that led me to really start looking deeper and realize that, wait, actually, I was given a second chance to life. And what happened until that moment, I was so ashamed and so mad on everything, on God, on myself, on the medical system, because I was in US and I had no medical insurance. So I had, you can imagine, thousands and thousands and thousands of of medical bills to pay. And I was so mad because of that. I was like, oh my God, now I have to work and just pay the medical bills. I literally just moved there now and to create a new life. And now I have to pay all of these medical bills. So even my journey started with things around money. And I realized 1 year after that I have put more value on the money itself than on my life. I realized that, wow, I believed money is more important, that I have to pay so much, than seeing the blessing that I am still alive. And that's when I realized that, wait, as long as I am alive, I can make as much money as I want. But my life, it's precious. No amount of money can buy it. And the first book that I even read on personal development was Rich Dad Poor Dad from Robert Kiyosaki. So that's how I started. That was like my starting point. And from there, it just opened up, no, as it is when we are aligned and when we go on our path. I took one step and then the next one and the next one until I found Mind Valley, and that's how we know each other, no? And Mind Valley has just been the catalyst of my transformation. And the healing at the beginning, you know, it was so much about starting to feel again, because my whole life I was numb. Like I didn't feel anything because my mom left when I was 14, and that was the way I knew how to cope with that trauma that I realized later on when I started working on myself that was a trauma. And I just numbed myself, and I didn't know why. Afterwards, my whole life I would just constantly search for adventures. I would constantly search for adrenaline to keep myself busy all the time, like never just be with myself, never be still, never just go, 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 and adrenaline, because that was the only time when I could actually feel something.
I get that. So that actually brings us perfectly into the next portion. What does heart healing mean to you personally?
Mm. Yeah, so heart healing truly means to get to a place where you allow yourself to feel everything, everything. Because you know, I thought this whole time that, oh, let me just pick and choose and just feel the good things when I am in the adrenaline. But the reality is that we have to feel it all. It's not just I'm gonna feel good, but I'm gonna ignore the bad feelings, because when we do that, we actually numb everything. So for me, heart healing truly means to get to this place of feeling it all and accepting all the feelings, not make them wrong, because the only reason we make them wrong is because of the story that we place behind it. So really allow ourselves to be with the feelings, to feel them, to acknowledge them, and to allow them to move through us, because that's when the healing also happens. We need to feel to heal, and it's energy in motion. And if we don't feel them, if we resist to feel our feelings, then they remain stuck in our body now, and that's how disease is created. So it's a very, very important thing for us to learn how to be with our emotions without judging them, to love all the different spectrums.
Yep, absolutely. And honestly, when you do feel them, then they're so easy to release. That's the whole point
Yes,
of it. That's why they're here. is,
exactly.
is to get the experience. So, and we grow from everything. So beautiful. So, Andrea, what are some of the key practices or rituals that you use in your healing work?
In my healing work, meaning with my clients.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yes, so breathwork is one of them, definitely. Then I use also Akashic Records. I use Reiki, and I use a lot of different modalities from NLP,
Mm-hmm.
which I love NLP because it works with the subconscious mind, and I have done some really powerful um, exercises with my clients where we go back into the past and we, let's say, we meet back with our inner child, we rewrite the stories. So it's very, very powerful to have an arsenal of tools. So
Yeah.
then when I work with a client, I'm able to tap intuitively on what arises based on what they need in that moment. And the way I love to do it right now is to do part of my sessions to have part of it coaching, and then to take them through a breath work to feel and to release in what is it that we have discussed in the coaching.
That's beautiful. That's a lot like what I do. I mix a lot of different methods, mostly emotion, body, belief code, but I also bring in chakra healing and hypnotherapy, which has a lot of NLP in it. And
Mhm.
so similar. It's lovely to hear a little more details on yours, and I know how beautiful anyone who came and had a session with you would benefit. I know.
Mm. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for being here and sharing your
Mhm.
story. So, bringing then a little more detail, can you share a transformative healing experience that deeply moved you, either as a healer or as a participant?
Mhm. Yes. I would say the breath work. First, I will talk from my perspective. When I first did it last year, I went to this breathwork session that my partner has been telling me for months. We went to Europe to a fest, and I was like, I do not want to go back to India. I'm going to go to Romania from here. I literally had all my luggage with me because I was like, I'm done with India. It was so challenging and so hard to be here. Oh my God. And I was like, I'm done. I'm going back to Romania. And he was like, but do you remember that those breathwork sessions are starting? Because there are some teachers that they only come a few months a year here. And he's like, do you remember I've been telling you, and I really feel that this breathwork is going to support you on your journey. And those breathwork sessions are in a different city than where my partner lives. And I said, okay, I'm coming back for those breathwork sessions. And I'm also moving there. That's the only condition. And he's like, yeah, do it. Do you know what feels right? And that's exactly what I did. I went, I did one session, and from the first session, Joy, it was so powerful, so transformative. Imagine that, like, I have been on my healing journey now for many, many years. And I would say almost on a daily basis since I started traveling in November 2023, after my partner transition, I started traveling as my healing journey. So every single place where I went, I would intentionally look for healers. So I worked with healers all over the world. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to do this breathwork session, but I don't think there is much inside, because I'm like, I've done so much work on myself. And then after I did that breathwork session, I was shocked. Like I screamed, I cried. It was like a very, very intense session. And I was just like, whoa, like what just happened? And a lot of trauma release actually happened in that session. And from that moment on, I knew that that's the tool I want to go deeper into. And I messaged the teacher and I asked her, when do you do the training? It's like, I want to be in it. So it was very, very powerful for myself. And then I went and I did the training, which was almost a month long, and it was very intense to breathe for so long, for such a long period. But the transformation I have seen on myself, and then the transformation I would see on the people that come, for them to say that, wow, like, it's the first time I'm crying. Like, since I am an adult, it's the first time I'm able to cry. Another girl was like, she was almost like possessed when she was coming to those breathwork sessions, and she was able to heal that in a few breathwork sessions. And like many stories that has shown me, wow, this is truly a tool that I want to spread out in the world. Because the reason why I also love so much this tool is because it also puts the power back into the client. Because the client is the one that is breathing, I'm there guiding, but the client is the one that does the work. And that makes them feel so much more sovereign, so much more into, I can do it, I can do anything, because breath work, for those that have done it, and the type of breath work that I do, which is conscious breathing, it's called rebirth. It's a very deep breath work. It's not like a shallow where you just go and relax. If you really go there and you do the work, it's a deep breath work. So it's a lot of work. And that's why I'm really like, I'm having so much appreciation for those that actually go and do it, because it's deep inner work that it's happening right there. And
Yeah.
the shifts are so fast. And especially when you combine them with integration, with coaching. And this is what, it's something I have seen in my practice. When I was going there and I was breathing, I was like, okay, I love that I go and breathe, but I do see how my element of coaching also comes so beautiful together. Because sometimes you do not know what to do with the information, or it's hard for you to process on your own, the pain or the memories or whatever it is that's coming through. So this is how I see the beauty of the two coming together, and it's truly life changing.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. You mentioning that it's called rebirth. I have done some rebirth breathing, but it was years ago,
Mm,
like probably
mm.
20 plus years ago. So,
Yes.
and it was very good. It was very good. I liked it. So I'm very happy for you, sweetheart.
Mm.
Okay, so then how do you integrate different cultural and spiritual traditions into your healing work?
Yes, and this is a good one, because as I was just sharing, I have been traveling the world, working with different healers, doing retreats, getting trainings, in Bali, in Thailand, all over. So the way I do it, for example, I bring in Buddhism, but now recently I also have been introduced to Kabbalah, which I absolutely love. It helped me shift the perspective so much. And I bring in elements from Kabbalah. I bring in elements from Thailand, things that I have studied there and I have learned there. So it's like taking bits and pieces from the things that have worked for me, that have resonated with my own journey and my life, and then I bring them in my teaching and in my coaching with my clients. And I find that they are all very similar. They all, I feel like they all have the core message is all the same. That's how I see them. It's just a matter of what is the energy in the moment that we resonate with, like from which type of source. Because there are many, these are like many different sources, many different teachers that they share the same teaching. Yeah, is the same message, just said in different words. And it's just a matter of like my vessel right now, which message, which energy resonates with, for me to also be a clear transmission when I share it with my clients and with my audience.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it that all religions and all spiritual traditions, the truth, the very truth of it is it comes back to divine heart consciousness and sovereignty. And
Yes.
that's what I teach. So I know that it's true. And that's
Hmm.
the empowerment, because each person can feel that. They have to get
Yeah.
there, but they can feel the truth of it.
Hmm.
And then they know that that is from within. And
Yes.
that's so empowering, And it shifts just from that alone. You can shift everything, and it will lead you to the right healing. And you should listen to that. People should always listen deeply to
Yes.
their heart.
And
So,
when they are ready, they will, because we all have
mhm.
our own timing, and that's what I've truly learned. We all have our own timing, and when we focus on our own growth and evolution and allow just things from there to unfold and open up without trying to put anything on anyone, but just allow ourselves to be grounded, to be in our own light. And for those that are, inspired and attracted, they gonna come.
Yeah, exactly. It's that is just divine energy, and it has this magical tapestry that weaves through our whole lives. And when we start to understand it, then we can just dance with it, and
Yes,
not worry, because everything is not happening to us. It's happening through us and for us.
it is. It
So
is.
beautiful. Okay, then what role does community play in the healing process, do you think?
Hmm. Oh my God, community is huge. It's such an important piece. And for me, I truly got to heal my wounds around community when my partner got sick. Because previously, when I went through that experience when my mom left, I had no community, I had no one. So I I moved on through life of I am alone. I have to figure it out alone. That's how I moved through life from that point on. And then when my partner got sick, it was just wow, like so beautiful and so heartfelt to see how all of our friends, and not only friends but stranger and like people, they just came together to support us during that journey at the highest level that I could have never ever imagined. Like, we felt so loved and so supported, and I don't think I could have like gone through the way I have done through that journey if I would have just been me and him. It would have been at least 10 times harder, at least. But when we allow ourselves and when we open our hearts, because it's very important for us to open up to it. People are there to help and to support, but they cannot do it if we do not allow it. And that's a big part of what I've learned, to really learn to receive without feeling bad, without feeling guilty, without feeling that if I receive now, oh, I have to give back right away, and just truly allow myself to receive and to be supported, knowing that people do it because they do it from their heart and it feels good to them. And just trusting, trusting in this beautiful flow of how life is. So I would say community is huge on our healing journey, to open our hearts. It's one of the most important things, I would say.
Yeah, yeah, it is. It is. That's what led me to create Global Heart Healing Community, is just to know that we can have a sacred space, that we're a safe place to be with like-minded people and who are ready and accept us where we are.
Yeah.
So, um, what advice would you give someone who feels disconnected from their heart or from love in their life?
Hmm. To start paying attention on how they treat themselves. I would start with that. How they treat themselves, how they speak to themselves. Because one of the biggest reasons why they feel disconnected, from love, from others, maybe from higher power, is because they are disconnected with themselves. And I would say that's like the core, that's the foundation where it's important for us to start building that connection with self. And that really starts with being more compassionate with yourself, more loving with yourself. Really start looking for, what is it that I'm doing good in my life? What is it that is working right now? Start looking for what are your qualities, because we have been conditioned so much to compare ourselves with others, to look at our flaws, look at our negativity. And it's not just that we've been conditioned, it's also how our brain is wired. So it's just science as well. And in order for us to shift that, to change that, to rewire that, we have to bring the awareness to, how do I treat myself? How do I speak to myself? And would I treat the person that I love the most this way?
Beautiful advice. Absolutely true. So, how has your own personal healing evolved over the years? You've kind of told us, but do you want to put it into a nutshell?
Sure. So yeah, I went from this place of being fully numb, disconnected from myself. Like, I was totally disconnected from myself and from God, from God's source, however you want to call it. Because I grew up Catholic, and I used to go to the church every single Sunday with my family. And after I left from home, I was like, it doesn't feel good. Something, it doesn't feel right. I don't think God wants us to live with guilt. I don't think God wants us to live with shame. And those were a lot of the emotions that I was taking on from church, especially being Catholic, that if you do that, then you are sinful. If and like all of these boxes. And I was like, oh, it just doesn't feel good. So I removed myself totally from it. And then I just didn't believe in anything anymore for a couple of years. And that was really hard. Like, it's really hard to live a life with no faith, and no trust, where you just purely rely on your own power, and that's it. It's a hard life, I have to say. So I went from those stages, and also from overworking, overgiving, being constantly in my masculine energy, do, because that's what I've learned. And those were the models that I had around me when I grew up. Now I really got to a place where I would say I'm very intuitive, very connected with myself, with my body, very connected with a higher power. Like, I cannot even imagine to live without faith right now, because that's what like makes my day, makes my life, believing in magic, believing in miracles, and then just watching them unfold, so beautifully. So I moved from, I would say, from a big spectrum of being fully disconnected to really living a life in faith, in surrender, in miracles. Because my life, like how has been unfolding also since I started traveling, where I had the mantra that I trust and surrender. That was my mantra as I started traveling. I trust and surrender, because I noticed even with my partner on the cancer journey how I was trying so much to control, and control has been one of my challenges throughout my life, that trying to control everything to feel safe. So I did a mantra, I trust and surrender, I trust and surrender, and then I just asked for guidance, where to go, where I'm meant to go for my healing journey. And it has been so magical, even the way I met my current partner, and all of the beautiful adventures that I have
Mhm.
had.
Yes, and I remember, you will probably remember, you were going to leave the US for the first time in a while, and you were going to Dubai.
Yeah.
And you didn't really know anyone, you didn't know where to stay, and I said, "Oh, I'm not going, but I know how to take care of you. I know who to get you connected with,
Mm,
and I will see to it that my darling friend is safe and cared for." And it was such a magical trip for you, and you blossomed, and from there you've
mm,
just done so much more even.
yeah.
And I just remember that, and how blessed I felt that I knew
Mm,
people that I knew would help you be
mm,
safe and be cared for. And that's what we all need and want, right?
yeah, yeah.
So, and that's just, we're lucky to have connections all over the world.
Yes,
Um,
we really do.
yeah, yeah, it's a beautiful thing. So, would you like to share just a little bit of how people would connect with you? It will all be in the
Yes.
description under the video, but please do.
Yeah, so I mainly spend my time on Instagram. So you're gonna find my Instagram in the show notes. And I am Andrea Tamas, my name. And then I have a podcast, Spiritual Change Makers, that I'm looking forward to also have Joy on. Which you're gonna find on all major platforms, including YouTube. If you wanna see my beautiful face, you're gonna find it on YouTube as well. If you wanna watch it and not just listen, and reach out, because I'm the one that checks all of my messages, all the emails, and I would love to hear from you and how this episode has touched your heart.
Perfect. Perfect. And that's where you'll find this one as well, is on YouTube. So we'll look forward to you seeing our darling Andrea and listening and
Mm,
hearing and feeling her heart and just gathering a little bit from her wisdom
mm,
on Global Heart Healing
yeah,
Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me, my
mm.
darling.
Thank you, and thank you, everyone.
So, can we have just a little quiet moment to close? We are grateful and we ask and know that this message will land exactly where it's supposed to. We trust and we feel you and we hold you and we hold space for the healing energies to work their magic and bring the wisdom and the blessings and the lessons and the uplift. And so it is. So we let it be. Namaste.
Mm.
Thank you so much, Andrea.
Thank you, my dear Joy. And thank you, everyone, for watching, for listening.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.